Hello, good morning. I'm vlogging. It's been a minute, but I wanted to do kind of like a day in the life slash talking about my current favorites, kind of like a springtime favorites video. So here we are. I kind of got a late start to vlogging. It's not late. It's like, what time is it? It's 9:20 a.m. It's not late. I've done a lot already. I've already worked out, showered, made my protein smoothie, and had a call for work. So this is like my first break in the morning. But yeah, speaking of workouts, I just kind of started working out after not working out for a minute. I had kind of been doing okay. You guys know I bought a treadmill like maybe in like September, but pretty much the whole month of March, I was barely working out. I was ordering takeout for almost every meal. Like I hardly cooked at all in March. And I've gained some weight. Like I see it in my face, I see it in the way that my clothes fit. And I'm just like, okay, Adia, what are you trying to do here? Like, are you just gonna get comfortable with this new size or are you gonna try to get back in shape? I've decided that I do want to get back in shape. And, I'm taking it easy. I'm not going to beat myself up about it because the truth is, if after all is said and done with this horrific year that we've all had with the pandemic, etc., if the worst thing that happens to me is that I gained 10 pounds, then I'm blessed. And, that's that. There's like nothing for me to complain about. So that's kind of the attitude that I have. I wasn't able to finish my morning skincare because I was trying to hurry up and start this call. Let me turn on some lights. So, yeah, I'm just gonna finish doing my skincare, talk a little bit about some of my skincare favorites. Look at how messy this is. Like, I want to get rid of these shelves. And I have an idea of how I'm gonna reorganize my makeup. I ordered some stuff from Container Store last night, but it's probably not gonna get here till maybe like next week. But I may do an update on that because I'm tired of seeing my stuff out. Like I used to like to have everything out because then I felt like, oh, I can see things, I can use things. But now, because I'm here all the time and I'm seeing my things all the time, it just bothers me. And I'm now more in a place where I'm just like, no, I just want to have like less clutter. I don't want to see a lot of things out because it's just like overwhelming. So, like, all this, I need to take care of it. But let me do the rest of my skincare. All right. So, after I got out of the shower, I already did the Summer Fridays CC Me serum. This is a vitamin C serum, but it's lightly moisturizing. And so I actually really like it. I've only been using it for like a couple weeks. So TBD, I did get this free because I attended a Summer Fridays event literally like last year. I attended it in February 2020 and I never opened this. And I'm just like, I know vitamin C does not have a super long shelf life, but I never opened it. So I'm like hoping it's still doing something. Uh, but yeah, I realized that I'd had it for so long and hadn't opened it. So I was like, ooh, let me try to use it. So I really like that. And a couple other things that I want to talk about. So I got these. These were also sent to me by Nooni. This is like one of the brands that's under like the meme box family. So they sent me, it's super cute actually, this little thing, and it came with a moisturizer, face moisturizer cleanser, and a hand wash. It's so cute. So yeah, I really like these. This moisturizer is it says it's formulated with vegan, pre and probiotics and ceramide to help strengthen skin moisture barrier for a supple and soft face, hands, and body. So I really like this. It's super moisturizing, like very soothing. And it has like a cool thing. This, you take off the cap and then you twist it and then it comes out. Let me take off my glasses. And then, so this is just like a basic moisturizer that's kind of richer, and it feels very like soothing because my face, I think, I don't know what it is. I think it might be stress, but maybe like a month ago, I was getting like really bad eczema and like all on my neck, like all right here. It was like red and like peeling. It was so bad, super itchy. And that brings me to something that really helped. And that is this La Roche-Posay Lipicar Balm Intense Moisturizing Repair Cream. This is the body lotion that I've been using. It's super hydrating. It's good for eczema. I even was putting this on my face when I was like really like flaring up, but I really, really love this. So I've been using this body lotion. So got my moisturizer, then my sunscreen. So lately I've been using the Sun Visor Broad Spectrum SPF 35. This does use zinc. And I remember when this came out like a couple months ago, you know, people were saying that it's not really sheer on darker skin tones, et cetera, et cetera. This is what it looks like. This is how much I put on. This is about 3 pumps. You're supposed to use like a 1/4 teaspoon. I think this is about a 1/4 teaspoon. So what I do is I just put it on like this. I don't even like rub it in all the way. And then I just let it sit for like a couple minutes. And then I go back and rub it in. And I find that when I just let it sit and then rub it rubs in. And I think there might be like a slight cast, you know, like a very slight gray cast, but it's also like I'm at home. Nobody's looking at me. Like, it's okay. And I feel like I'm okay wearing this because mineral sunscreens, they're just a little bit more comfortable on my skin. And since my skin has been feeling like sensitive lately, I have been reaching for mineral because they usually are better for sensitive skin. Whereas like some people, their skin reacts to other types of sunscreens. And so that's why I've been reaching for mineral, because I just want something that's like that's the least likely to irritate my skin. So that's why I've been using it. And I like it. Like, it feels comfortable on the skin. It's like lightly moisturizing. Like, I'm not mad at it. But yeah, I mean, this is how it looks. I don't feel like there's a cast. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it's fine. And I get it, like, there are people that definitely have darker skin tones than mine, so I can't speak for that. But for me, it works just fine. And then for brows. So I always do my brows, even if I don't do anything else, just because I think it makes a big difference. And I've been really liking the Saie one, the Saie Beauty. I use the Saie Beauty Brow Butter, and this is the deep brown shade. See, like, it's so, so tiny. So I just feel like it really can just like get all the way in your brows, but you can have a lot of control. So I really kind of just like focus on the top and like brushing up the top. And you see, I have like gray brow hairs. That's why now I feel like I always have to use a colored brow gel. So yeah, is it kind of even? Yeah. So that's just what I do for my basic everyday brows. This is like, you guys, this is like day 3 hair. I did my hair on Saturday. It's now Tuesday, and my hair looks really good for day 3. Today is the first day I put any more product on my hair. Sunday and yesterday, Monday, I didn't put any product on my hair. Today, I just put a tiny bit of the Coily Custard after I got out of the shower, just like a 1/4 size amount on this side and a 1/4 size amount on this side, just especially in the front, just to kind of keep it from getting frizzy. But that's really all I had to do. And I think this is part of the reason why my hair turned out so good. And that's the Camille Rose Honey Hydrate from it's a leave-in conditioner. And the first ingredient is honey. Second ingredient, olive oil. Third ingredient, castor oil. Fourth ingredient, aloe leaf juice. So it's super, super hydrating. It smells like honey. It looks like honey. It has that thick, serum-y kind of texture. So it flows through your hair easily. It has a nice slip. So oh, I love this. And this I feel like works so well underneath gel. So when I did my hair, I used this, and then I used the Pattern Beauty Stronghold Gel. The Pattern Beauty Gel is great. It's really, really good. It's just not my number one go-to because of the cost. And I just feel like for a gel, if I can get like a huge tub of like the wet line gel for like $9, I'm not gonna feel comfortable paying for like a much smaller jar of the Pattern for like $20. Like, it don't make sense for me, but it's a great gel. And then one more thing, the Olaplex number 8. So this just came out, and so I bought it during the Sephora sale, and so I used this on Saturday. I did the whole Olaplex thing. Like, I did number 0, then number 3 the night before. I did that Friday night. Then Saturday, I washed my hair with the Olaplex 4 and 5. Yeah, the shampoo and conditioner. Then I did the deep conditioner using the moisture mask. And my hair feels super soft. I feel like it's a combination of this plus this leave-in that made my hair feel super, super, super soft. So I'm very happy. Like, I need a haircut. I haven't had my haircut in over 3 months. And usually after like 2 months, the ends start to look really bad. So just the fact that I feel like my wash and go is still intact, the shape still looks good, I think is due in part to it being more moisturized. Okay, it is almost 12 o'clock. I haven't had coffee at all today because this morning after I worked out, I made a little like protein shake. So now I'm tired because I just ate, and because I've just kind of like increased I've recently increased the length and intensity of my workouts. So I have felt a little bit more tired because my body's not used to working out, honestly. So yeah, I need this coffee. I love this one, the chocolate fudge one from Nespresso. So good. And I normally am not into like flavored coffees because I actually like the taste of coffee, but it's so good. I love it. All right, here's my coffee. Really good. Okay, so this is gonna be pretty good. I might only have 1 cup of coffee today. I pretty much allow myself to have 2 cups of coffee a day. I feel like that's really not bad, especially because typically like one of the cups of coffee that I have is a latte. And sometimes even both of them are lattes, and lattes don't really have a ton of caffeine. So I feel like it's totally fine. But, I guess maybe less caffeine is better, supposedly. But yeah, so now it's time for like, for me to hunker down for like the next 5 hours of work. This morning I only had like 2 calls, but I feel like this afternoon I have like a ton of calls back to back. So I'm going to try to do a little bit in the next like 15 minutes before I have my next block of calls. And then when I come back, I will talk about some books that I've been reading that I really like. some YouTube channels that I've been into, and some makeup, of course. So that's what I will come back with a little bit later on. All right, part two of the springtime favorites video. So this video is a little bit disjointed and I apologize for that, but the day that I was filming that you saw earlier, I just ended up getting caught up with work. And then by the time I had time to finish filming, it was already dark and I was tired and, you know. So here we are. I'm just going to finish doing my favorites. I wrote things down and okay. I didn't even watch back where I left off at, so apologies if this is redundant. I guess I will have to do some editing magic to blend everything together. But anyways, as far as TV, so for TV, I really like dramas, especially like crime dramas, police dramas, legal dramas. That's really what I love. Or anything to do with like spy shit. Like that's what I love. But two of the shows that I really love, neither of them are American. One is called Line of Duty and it's based in London. And I think it has like maybe 4 or 5 seasons, but basically it follows like the UK version of Internal Affairs. And they're kind of like investigating police corruption. It's so good. Like, oh, super suspenseful. And another thing that I like about it is that even though it is like a police drama, there's really not a lot of like violence or blood, which is nice. So it's so good. Highly recommend it. And basically it's the same like internal affairs investigators, but each season they're kind of investigating different officers. So there's, you know, you see some of the same characters each season, but there's also new characters each season, which keeps it interesting. Second show that I loved is called The Bureau. It's a French TV show, so I watched it in French with English subtitles, and it follows a French spy. Like he worked for basically the French version of the CIA. And when he comes back from his assignment, he's kind of struggling to leave his undercover identity behind. And that's all I'll share, but it's like so good. Again, super suspenseful. And even though it is about like spies and all that kind of stuff, it's not like a bloody show. And there's actually, I think most of the time they're like in the office, but it's super interesting. Like the plots, the characters are really interesting. And so I highly recommend that. And then as far as movies, I recently watched, I think it's called The United States versus Billie Holiday. And I mean, Andra Day was just incredible. Like she became Billie Holiday. And just really learning her story, I think it's just a tragic story really. And just like how conflicted or like troubled Billie Holiday's life was, whether it was due to drug addiction, her relationships, and also being like hounded by the US government, hounded by the press. It was just a really well done, but kind of sad movie, but I definitely recommend it. So that's kind of like my TV movie recommendations. For books, okay, American Dirt. And I remember, I think it was like an Oprah's book club pick a while ago, and if I'm remembering correctly, I feel like there was some like controversy about the author. I don't really remember what the issue was, but nonetheless, I loved that book. I listened to it on audiobook. The narrator was excellent. And I was literally like on the edge of my seat listening to the story of a woman and her son fleeing Mexico and migrating to the United States. So, especially being in California, you hear a lot about, you know, migrants coming into the United States, and you hear these numbers, and it's kind of hard to like connect with the story when you just hear there's like, you know, however many thousand people are coming into the United States, and it's just like a number. And so hearing this story, even a fictionalized account, really does just like underscore the humanity of people that are migrating into the United States. And for me, anyways, it really just like emphasized like how desperate a person would have to be to journey, thousands of miles to a foreign country and go through like all the risk, all the danger, all the cost of going to a foreign country where you're not necessarily even going to be welcomed. You're not going to know the language, maybe. You're not going to know the culture. You may not even know anybody in that foreign country. So it's just like, it's not something that somebody does just like on a whim or because they had a bad day or something like that. Like, there really is a lot of like terror and desperation that makes somebody make that choice. And so I just thought the book was really powerful in that way, and just like humanizing an experience that we usually only hear about in terms of like big numbers. And so, and then also just the story was, it was interesting, and it was like super suspenseful. Like, I loved it. The next book that I really enjoyed is Where the Crawdads Sing. And I feel like everybody read that book. It's been like all around, but it's just a wonderful book. Um, yeah, I'm not going to go into it because I feel like I've gone into, I don't want this video to be super long, but Where the Crawdads Sing, it was great. I mean, it's just a wonderful, just like coming of age story of a young woman who basically grew up alone in, was it like the Louisiana Delta or Mississippi Delta? Something like that. Like, and just, yeah, it's a coming of age story. And that's all I'll say. The other book that I loved is The New Wilderness. I love books like The New Wilderness because I think like my favorite genre of books is like dystopian futures. So The New Wilderness takes place in sometime in the not super distant future where basically humans have, there's overpopulation, people have just like built up everything, and so there's not a lot of like green spaces and trees and open spaces because there's so much like overcrowding and overbuilding. And so I think we assume it's the United States. They carve out like a new wilderness state that's basically like a protected area, and then they have an experiment where people get to go and live in the new wilderness from like the overpopulated cities. And it's just kind of like that journey of people like learning to survive basically with just their wits and the few supplies that they brought with them. And, interpersonal dynamics when you're in this setting outside of like normal society. So that's another, like, I love that book too. So those are kind of like the favorite books that I've read this past couple months, even though I've read so many books this past couple months, but those are like the standouts. And then for YouTube, I discovered Heather Robinson, and she does fitness videos, and her videos are really good. I've been really trying to step up working out more. So I've really loved Heather Robinson's videos. I also love Move with Nicole, who does Pilates videos, and then Yoga with Cassandra. I've been doing Yoga with Cassandra's evening yoga, and it's so good. It's like 15 minutes, and it has really helped me try to like decompress in the evenings because it's been so hard for me to like turn off from the workday. And so I really think that the yoga at night, it's so helpful. I don't wake up with like the same kind of like back pain and stuff like that that I used to have. So those are my 3 YouTube recommendations. And then I know I talked about skincare, but I don't know if I mentioned all of my favorites. My Topicals has an amazing mask called Like Butter that really helps soothe skin, especially if you have eczema. The Youth to the People Dream Mask. I bought that just like a teeny tiny. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show you guys how small the little sample thing is. I'll be right back. Okay, so I bought this. Oh, this is the eye cream, but it's the same size. I bought a little thing. It's this big, okay? I bought this little sample of the Dream mask during the Sephora sale, and it's great. I feel like it's kind of like a misnomer because it's called a mask, but you basically use it as an evening moisturizer because you're supposed to put it on clean skin and you rub it all the way in. Like you don't ever rinse it off. So I almost feel like they call it a mask just so they can charge more. But nonetheless, it is good. It's a nice like one step evening product to put on. And I do notice that my skin feels super, super smooth in the morning. So, and then this is the My Topicals mask. So a couple other ones that I really like are the Laneige Cica Sleeping Mask. So it's a hypoallergenic replenishing mask. And this is really good if you have dry skin or sensitive skin, just as like a one product kind of evening thing. Like I'll just do a serum and then I'll put this on and that's it. So I have started to use this like a couple times a week. And then another one that I really like is the Skin Fix Barrier Plus Triple Lipid Peptide Cream. So it's a rich lipid replenishment cream, and it supports the skin barrier and helps boost moisture and elasticity by replenishing skin's natural lipids. So I really like this, and this is one that has a top where you push this and then the product comes up, so it's nice and sanitary too. So this is a Sephora sale purchase, but really, really good. Okay, so that's my skincare stuff. Makeup. I love the Katie Jane Hughes brushes. I think they're about to restock, so I guess I'll leave a link below to the Spectrum website. So I think this time they're going to come out with a few different selections or collections. There's going to be the big 25 brush set that comes with the towel, but then there's also going to be smaller brush sets. And so to me, the face brushes, like, you know, this angled brush, or like, where's the blush brush? Like the blush brush. These are very good, but not unique. To me, the most unique brushes are the eye brushes. Like, for instance, like this little pencil brush. Let me get closer. So like this little pencil brush is really, really nice. I use this a lot on my under eyes. What else? Other brushes, like these little like liner brushes are really nice also. Again, I think more unique. This one is really unique, this flat one. So this is like unique because you see brushes like this, but they're usually not as wide, right? They're usually like half as wide. But this is good for under eyes. It's good for like carving around, like if you use concealer to like carve around your eyebrows, it's really nice. You can use it, I've seen people use it for their lip, like say you have like a red lip or a bold lip, and so you want the edge around your lip to be like super neat, you can kind of use this to like clean it up or put concealer to like edge around. I also like this for eyes because like if you have a fold over your eyes, this is nice because you can basically use this as like a stamp. If you're trying to do a wing, I'll just like stamp this and that will kind of be the shape that I trace, and then you can go back over it to perfect it. But if you just, because it can be so hard to go over that fold. So something like this is like, you can literally just stamp it right there. So this brush is really, really nice. Yeah, like there's so many good little small brushes. I feel like that's where this set excels, is in all the little small brushes. So if they do another set that has just the small ones, like I would actually consider buying it just so I can have two of some of these little tiny ones, because to me, those are the most unique ones, and those are the ones that I like to use the most. Okay, Odin's Eye. This is a brand that I discovered because Gabby Alvarez and also Baby Do You, I think Baby Do You, what's her name? I think her name is Drew. They both use Odin's Eye, and so I was like, let me check it out. It's a European brand, I believe. And I just got some of the mini palettes because I've realized that I like smaller palettes. Like I think I feel kind of overwhelmed when I see a palette with like 15 shades. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I don't know which things to use together, and it just kind of intimidates me. Whereas like small ones, I feel like I'm more likely to play within a smaller palette and to use up like all the shades. So anyways, this is what the small palettes look like. So there's like 4 big shadows, and then there's the split shadow in the middle. And for me, on my skin tone, I feel like I can do a look with just these. Like if you're my skin tone or lighter, like this kind of shade is dark enough to do like, not going to be like a super smoky eye, but it can definitely add definition in the crease. If you're darker than me, then this is not going to probably give enough depth, at least these particular colors that I chose. But they're so beautiful. Like these shimmers perform so, so well. I like that they're small. Like this is the one I'm wearing today. So I have this in the crease and a tiny bit of this. And then I took this like, what is this? Kind of like a teal color over the lid. So this is my eye. And I think it looks good. Yeah, and I mean, the colors all go together, but they're kind of like slightly unusual color combinations that I might not always reach for. But since they're all together in a smaller palette, I'm more likely to play with them. So, and I think they're pretty affordable. I think each palette is like, it's definitely under $20, I think. I think each palette's under 20 bucks. But yeah, I really like the Odin's Eye palettes. So if you're looking for like a new brand, I would say check them out. Okay, another product I've been using a lot is the Natasha Denona Tan Bronze and Glow palette. So I packed this with me when I went to Mexico because I was like, it's just like an all-in-one thing. It has bronzer, highlighter, whatever. But since then, I've been using it even more. This is the bronzer that I'm using today. And so on my skin tone, it does build up, and I think it's a fine bronzer. If you're darker than me, it's not going to be a bronzer, but she did show this as a blush on like darker skin tones. So, you know, report back if you have a darker skin tone and you've used this as a blush. I'm really curious. But I think this size is really great. The products are really beautiful and blendable. You can definitely, it's just what it says. It's a bronze and glow. Like these highlighters are really pretty. This one is a cream, and then these are like powders of different gold tones. So I really like this, and I'm glad to like have revisited it. The Natasha Denona Vision Flush. I think I maybe even like these more than the Color Fix, just because these are easier to use. They're less pigmented and a little more like creamy. They're not as like thick of a product, so they're just more forgiving, easier to use. So for blush, I have this color, the Sweet Nectar. I have it on my cheeks and my lips. And then I have the Vision Flush Tiara as a highlighter. And I love this tiara because when applied lightly, it looks so natural. Like it just looks like your skin is glowing. It doesn't look like you have highlighter on. And even though this is a cream product, it dries all the way down and sets. So it's like the best of both worlds. Like you get that like natural look of a cream, but then it doesn't move. It looks gorgeous on its own. Like if you just want to have no other makeup, put this on and you just look like you came back from the spa, or you can use it with makeup. Like I wish that she made more like shimmers in this formula. I don't know if she makes other ones like this, because I would love like a more bronzy kind of color or like a peachy color. So I wonder if she does that. I don't know, but I love this. What else? I have a lot of good stuff that I've liked a lot lately. The Makeup by Mario, the Master. I feel like if you had like one of these kind of palettes and this, you can make so many looks, because this will have the products to add like the depth. if you need it. And then this will add like the fun, the color, and the sparkle. And you could do so much with just these two palettes. What else? I think I have a couple more things that I've been really into. Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop, number 17. This is what I'm wearing. This is so good because you get that light coverage, you know, light, medium, buildable coverage of a tinted moisturizer, but it stays. You know, it's more, I think it's more long wearing, and it also feels lighter on the skin. Like a lot of times tinted moisturizers can feel heavier on the skin, whereas this feels like nothing on the skin. So love this. This is what I'm wearing. I'm not even wearing concealer. This is the only like complexion product I'm using. And then lastly, the Artist Couture Love Sprung. So I put this color over top just because I just wanted to put it on and I just wanted more longevity. So I put this on top of the Danessa Myricks Vision Flush. But these three colors are so pretty. This highlighter, like, I was kind of like, is this really a highlighter? But it looks on the skin, it just gives like, this is it. Yeah, it's just really pretty. Like you can do it kind of as like a blush topper, or if you put it on as a highlighter, it just, yeah, it gives like a rosy glow. I think it's a very interesting product, but it's really beautiful. Like it's super, super beautiful. Like, yeah, you see that? It's just a really nice product. So I'm I'm really happy with this palette. So is that it? Let me look at my list. Oh, the last thing that I didn't write, the Auric Glow Lust. That's a beautiful product. Like sometimes I have just done that like all over my face and then just put powder like in the center, like, you know what I mean? I'll put the Glow Lust all over and then I'll just powder like my nose, forehead, chin so I can be a little bit matte in the center. And it looks beautiful. It really does blur the skin. It doesn't really add coverage, even though it is like skin tone colored. I don't know, but just because of the sheen and the formula, I feel like it can disguise imperfections more because it's like creating a reflection, not because it's actually covering the product. But the Auric Glow Lust is really beautiful also. And I think that's it. I think I've talked about everything that I've been loving lately. Um, yeah, I just wanted to do like a seasonal update on like books, movies, makeup, skincare, and yeah, that's it. Please let me know what you've been loving, especially books and TV. And thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.